Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Namdahu Rasul ala Rasul Kareem Amabad. My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. It is class 11th, subject economics. Dear students, our today's subtopic is find the types of goods. What are the types of goods? Because goods are the items which are produced, consumed. Goods are the items which help us in functioning of market. When there are goods, there are buyers, there are sellers. Then we can say demand, supply, price. It is all because of goods. Now, goods are of many types. Some goods are those which we can say as final goods. Some goods are those goods which helps us in producing or completing the other final products or goods. So here I have to discuss with you that what are the types of goods, final goods and intermediate goods. What are final goods? These are those goods which have crossed the boundary line of production and are ready for use by their final users, that is consumers and producers. Example for this final goods are consumers are the final users of clothes and shoes. Producers are to final users of plant and machinery. Dear students, these are the final goods. Final goods have two. Final goods are classified into two categories. Number one, final consumer goods and final producer goods. What are final consumer goods? Those are the goods which are ready for use by their final users. Those are the final goods. In a goods and a shape, goods and a position which we have only to use. Nothing is done with them before making them able to use, because they are final goods. This pen is final product. Now I can use this. Shoes are the final products. Nothing to do, only to wear. So final goods, final consumer goods, and those goods which are consumed by the consumers. When we say goods, there is a consumer, there is a producer. When a producer produces a commodity, when a producer produces a good, then a consumer can consume it. Now, what is the final consumer goods? Final consumer goods, what are those? Those goods which the consumer consumes directly. I will repeat it. Those are the goods which are ready for use by their final users. Example, bread and butter as used by the consumers. Bread and butter which is our common use, which is in our common use. What we do that? Bread and butter directly we can consume that good. Now the second good is final producer goods. What are final producer goods? Those are the goods which are ready for use, but they are final users. And Those are ready for use by their final users, and producers are their final users, e.g., tractors and harvesters as used by the farmers. These are final producer goods. Now see, what are final producer goods? Tractors. Tractor is final product. And when we use the tractor in harvesting, when we use this in harvesting by the farmers, then it is the good final product. It is the final product. It is the final product. Those are the goods which are ready for by their final users and producers, and their final users, tractors and harvesters as used by the farmers. And the these were the this was the classification of final goods. Now the second is here intermediate goods. The second, intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are those goods which are purchased by one firm from the other, either for resale or for use as raw material. E.g., for example, shirts purchased by one firm from the other for resale and or intermediate goods. Likewise, wood purchased by the carpenter from a timber merchant for making chairs is intermediate good as raw material. Dear students, when one firm purchases the commodity from the other firm for use, a shirt which is produced by a firm is purchased the second firm for resale. That is the intermediate goods. Or we can sometimes purchase some things to use it as a raw material for producing the other good. That is intermediate goods. I will repeat it. All those goods which are purchased by one firm from the other, either for sale or for use as a raw material. For example, shirts purchased by one firm from the other for sale are intermediate goods. Likewise, wood purchased by the carpenter from a timber merchant used as from making chairs is intermediate good, and that wood is used as a raw material good. Dear students, due to the problem in network here, it is not possible for us to make a full lecture. It takes hours together to upload this lecture. So I hope now we are starting this types of goods, and I hope that you have followed what I told you, that the types of the goods, and tomorrow we will do more than this. Assalamu alaikum.